What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Rob's Gaming Table. Today on the table we have a special Game of Thrones: A Card Game 2nd Edition spoiler video for you. And I've brought along my senior card spoiler analyst for the Brotherhood Without Banners spoilers here, Kevin Austin. Kevin Austin, say hi.
Hi.
All right, so we got these cards. Joe from Cincinnati's busy with a bad case of the crabs, playing that other card game, L5 something. So I'm doing the Night's Watch spoilers this time around, and I'm completely joking. Thanks to Fantasy Flight for sending these over. So Joe, don't get mad. I was just joking. But yeah, we're going to cover the first card here. Kevin, you want to read this card for us?
Sure. First we have Donal Noye, or Donal Noye. I'm not sure. He is a non-loyal, unique steward. He is 4 cost, 4 strength with a military and an intrigue icon. He has a bestow 3 and no attachments except weapon. And he has an action, discard 1 gold from Donal Noye to put a weapon attachment into play from your hand.
All right, what do you think about Donal Noye?
He's interesting. He's got a good combination of icons for his cost in Night's Watch. There's not many stewards with a military icon. So he's a good... He's good base cost. It's just whether or not you can get any use out of his action there.
Yeah, I find when you see the 4 cost character with the bestow keyword, like even bestow 1 or whatever, you start putting in your head that this character, you start adding that together and thinking, I'm paying 6 for this guy that may die very quickly and not be in play or get discarded fast, or I may not have what's in my hand to line up with the bestow, or even get the ability off. So that's what do you invest in him?
Yeah, and unfortunately he's more on the Alaria Sand side than the Garland Tyrell side.
Yes, this is true.
In faction, a few weapons that they have a Long Claw, Practice Blade, and a card we might be talking about in a couple minutes. But those you don't really get much value out of using his action on.
Yeah, because like Practice Blade, for example, it's already got Ambush.
It already has Ambush, and it's only 2, and its normal cost is 1, so that's not a huge value upgrade. But you also have Catapult on the Wall, which is 3 costs normally, and if you could surprise it in and kill one of their attackers, it would be an interesting use of that card that I'm not sure anybody's gotten use out of yet.
Yeah, and the cost discount on that of doing it for 1 gold. And technically not really saving the gold, so it's not like it's sitting on a character, but I mean sometimes that will throw people off if you save 0 gold and you just have 1 on bestow guy. And I mean, I know they know what he can do, but they might not put together that you may be bombing in like 3 cost attachments.
Right. Speaking of 3 cost attachments, since he is non-loyal, you can bring him into Stark decks and throw in Ice, or you can bring him into Martell decks and throw in Venomous Blades.
Yeah, that'd be all right. Yeah, just even making a 3 cost event, having the ambush keyword technically is kind of what you're doing here. Bringing that into play and adding ambush to those attachments is pretty huge, especially when they have kill effects.
Yeah.
So he has the steward trait. So do we have enough stewards now to play? The events to go search for your stewards instead of naming builders with the
stewards are good, but not many of them work together or have the same game plan. Like Satin can stand stewards, but that would none of them have great kneel effects that you'd want to use other than maybe Maester Aemon. And then the new gift is just kneeling stewards to get resources, so any cost steward is good for that.
True.
But you could focus on a deck around them, but the icon spread on stewards is not as ideal as all the power icons on builders.
One other interaction is Gilly. She gives him stealth, right? And Bowen Marsh does the whole insight thing with stewards, and new Samwell doesn't blank him, right, when they're in a challenge together. So you could still do his ambushy stuff and maybe stop some other characters that might have effects that are in the challenge from doing anything crazy. But yeah, I think the Satin standing him, like he's 4 strength with military. He's got 2 icons and 4 strength in Night's Watch, and being able to stand him with Satin is I think still decent, even if you're not worried about his effect or anything. Just getting 2 challenges out of him. But yeah, just in general, the weapon attachments, bombing them in, like all the different weapon attachments, just giving them ambush, I think is huge. Um, yeah, other than the 3 you talked about, but like, I don't know. I think of crazy ones like bannering this guy in with like Baratheon and like slapping a Lightbringer in on a challenge when your opponent didn't expect it.
Yeah, Lightbringer
Like,
or Warhammer.
yeah, the Warhammer, just things like that, little tricks like that. Like, you technically could do it with Dawn to do surprise intimidate. Like, you couldn't do that before. It'd have to be sitting on the board and you'd have to think about it. I mean, like, if this guy ever got popular and people started doing that kind of stuff, you'd start expecting it. But we've seen how surprise intimidate out of Tyrell right now is like a big thing, and you know that's coming usually, or you fear it, and you goof up your challenges defending against it sometimes, or you just don't expect it, and it throws your whole challenge off, or your challenges off, and turns games. Just little things like that, just ambushing in random things. I don't know. Heartsbane, like a Heartsbane, surprise Heartsbane you could do.
Yeah.
I don't know what else. Corsair Dirk, like surprise +2 strength. Even just that, like just adding strength out of nowhere to a challenge that you don't see on the board. Like, you know, in Iron Fleet Scouts, for example, that's sitting there. The opponent maths it in, but with this guy, just some of the strength buff attachments. Like I know Practice Blade, you can bomb that in, but this just adds a few more to that roster if you're bannering him in somewhere else.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's small. It's small, but at least it gives some use out of him, and maybe makes it not as situational where you're not just like playing 3 weapons in your deck and hoping you have this guy on board with the gold at the right time. When you have that, you're in the challenge when you need it. I don't know. That could work together. The other thing I thought of is bombing that kind of stuff in on challenges with Corrin, to do his effect even on offense or defense, right? To do the strength buffs and possibly win challenges there.
Yeah, if you give him strength buffs, then he's able to kill larger non-unique things.
Yeah, that's because sometimes like people see the Corrin on the board too. It's like a known thing, so it's like you play around it. But if you could do tricks with Corrin on the defense, kind of like Miri sort of on the offense when you're trying to kill guys, but this way, like Corrin, you know, he's just defending a challenge. You think, oh, I'm good. Corrin can go in on the defense, but he's not going to win it. And then before you know it, he has won it. Yeah, no one plays Raider of Pike though. So why would anyone play this?
Like, I don't know. Maybe people might play one of, but I don't know if it's beneficial enough to warrant that inclusion.
But yeah, that's all I really have to say about Donald Noy. Any last thoughts, Kevin?
Nope.
All right, so on to our next card, which is another Night's Watch spoiler card. It is a 2-cost attachment, also non-loyal. It is weapon traded. Wow. Night's Watch character only. Attached character gets +1 strength. Challenge action, kneel Ranger's Bow to choose a defending Night's Watch character. Until the end of the challenge, that character gets +2 strength. So, hey, more into what I was just talking about with bombing in attachments, surprising people, giving attachments ambush, and possibly giving strength buffs to turn challenges in your favor. So some things I thought of. It's not loyal, but it's got the Night's Watch character only stupid keyword or whatever, the limitation on it. Which I always find that's weird when they do that. They do the non-loyal. Yes, you can bring it along with a banner, I guess, but I just always find that weird when I see non-loyal cards that can't be really used out of faction.
Well, it's also because they printed in fealty in the core set, so a lot of...
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, they don't want to just make it like three cost and then loyal, and then people without fealty don't bother playing it. I don't think it's as good as Practice Blade or Dragon Glass Dagger. Nope. I don't think. Like I don't see it replacing that, but maybe it has its own kind of weapon themed deck where you run up a few of each and you start throwing in like Street of Steel into a deck. I don't know. Like I like with maybe new Jon Snow, who's being a little more aggressive. You've seen some of the Night's Watch Reigns decks being a little more offensive.
But then this is mainly defensive.
Yeah, that's true. The +1 strength can be offensive, but yeah, you're right. Defensive, I guess, would be this attachment. So that totally doesn't make sense what I said, but this works good with that bombing in to help Corrin half hand, which I was just talking about. I think that would be pretty cool on the defense with him. And what about bringing Old Bear Mormont first or second version out of the binder and using this along with them to do some little Voltron-y kind of builds?
That is a thing. Not a good thing.
Not at all. But who knows? Some people out there, like old Bear Mormont, wanna go more Voltron, throw this on him, and now he's defending challenges without kneeling even more. I don't know. And then you just stealth past him, and that doesn't happen. I don't know.
Well, with Voltron, he'll have his bird.
Oh yes, yes. Of course you'll have the bird and this at the same time. I forgot about that. But yeah, what do you think about this, Kevin?
It's not good.
Yeah, I tried.
Yeah, it seems like they probably wanted to be one cost with just the action, and then thought that might be too strong, so they added a +1 strength and gave it another gold for the cost. But I don't know, it just seems expensive for what it does.
I just think one thing, it doesn't seem like, I don't know, I open a new pack or I see new cards and I want them to be like different than old cards, but to me this just adding strength on defense seems like every single Night's Watch card we get kind of is the same thing, and all the attachments, all the locations seem to just be around that. I understand you got to buff up a theme, but this seems very non-creative. Like, just, yeah, it's a weapon, it gives strength, and it helps on defense for Night's Watch characters.
And even comparing this to Abandoned Stronghold, like, this is an attachment, that's location, but that gives plus to a defending character, which doesn't have to be Night's Watch, and also varies with the traits, obviously, so it depends on which characters you have out, but I would still pick that over this, I'd assume, because this is less targetable. Well, it's kind of waving either way, whether or not locations are being hated on or attachments are being hated on, but I would still put that above this.
Yeah, I could see that. And just the location right now, the way things are going, location should stick around longer. You should get more value out of it than in an attachment on a character who characters don't really stick around that long right now, it seems to be, but and less as new cards come out. It looks like we're going to be, like with Valor, Doharis will be clearing the board a little more and that kind of thing. So yeah, just putting the money in an attachment to do the same thing location can do, but maybe even better and more flexible. Yeah, I just don't see it.
Yeah, this might get on the board and be annoying for a while, but not. I don't think it's worth it.
But isn't that like Werewood Bow? Wasn't it kind of the same thing, sort of? Like just a 2-strength thing, and nobody really plays that either? I don't know.
Nobody's really doing big wildling things right now, but I think it was only one cost, and...
Yeah, one cost. It was Night's Watch or Wildling only, and then you kneel it to reduce a character by 2 till the end of the challenge. But this is giving you like I guess it has the +1 also, but I mean, it's kind of the same thing, but that's another card that probably would get played over this. All right. Anything else to say on these cards, Kevin?
No, I do not have anything else to say.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot for stopping by and listening to us ramble on about some Night's Watch cards. Yeah, thanks for supporting the channel, and appreciate all the views and the likes and the comments. Leave them down below. Let us know what you guys think of these cards. And is FFG trolling us with these cards? I don't know. But they're okay. But yeah, are they just trolling us? I don't know. But yeah, I guess we'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks a lot for watching.
Bye.